Hey everybody, welcome to my chemistry lab, or kitchen, so it is. I'm going to show you all how to make one of my favorite recipes. Everybody knows I'm not a foodie, but I can cook some pretty tasty things. I am a chemist and I know things like, in chemistry there are magic ingredients like magic solvents such as methylene chloride. Well, a good chemist, or a good cook that is, knows that there are magic ingredients. That there's bacon fat. Cooked me some bacon this morning. That's a bunch of butter that I put it into. So I got bacon and butter going on right there. And over here, I crushed up a garlic or so here, and I'm going to add this garlic into the pot here. I'm an organic chemist, and any organic chemist knows that if a little is good, a lot's better. So we put some of that in there, and I added a little bit of olive oil in there just to be a better solvent, to get that going at the right consistency. And pretty soon here, I'm going to take this bacon, butter, olive oil, and garlic and put it on some bread. And I'm making garlic bread for the chemistry department today. We'll see how they like it. Hope you're enjoying. Okay, we're back to step 2 of making the garlic bread here. I've told you all, I'm not brag to put a bunch of dang bacon fat in there with a whole bunch of butter. Had to have a lot more butter. People sometimes ask me how much of this and that I put in my recipe. I say a lot. So I had to put a lot more butter in there. Now that it's clarified, I thought I would give you the clarifying lesson. You'd make the butter clarified so it can stand a higher temperature. You basically precipitate out the milk fats and boil off all the water. That's all that's going on right there. We got it, and when it turns the garlic kind of a golden brown like that, well, it's time to turn off the heat, and we're going to let it cool. In fact, I'm going to go take that right there after it's cooled down just a little bit and put it in the refrigerator to make it kind of a paste. Remember, I added a little bit of olive oil so it won't get too stiff, but that'll be the perfect consistency for spreading on my bread, which is coming up next. Now, you see, I told you, put this mess of bacon fat, butter, and garlic, a little bit of olive oil into the refrigerator, and after it cools just a little bit, make sure you get time to mix it up really, really well. You can see that it's kind of freezing on that side, sort of freezing. That's freezing. It's absolutely what freezing is all about there. That fat's freezing up. And you want to have a good consistency. Otherwise, when you go to spread this stuff, all the garlic will be on the bottom because it sinks, higher density. And so we want to make sure that before it gets completely solid, you get it all nice and mixed into as good as possible heterogeneous solution, or heterogeneous mixture as you can. And that's just some little added feature to help you spread it better later. Oh, look what we have here. We have garlic paste with butter and bacon fat. We're going to mix this up real good. Just want to give you an idea that when you're done. And it looks just about like this. It's a whole mess of garlic there. We're going to have to mix that up really well. Turn it into a proper paste. Next step, we're going to put that on the bread. Stay tuned. Okay, everybody. Next step is you got to take your bread and cut it in half. Right down the loaf. And I got 2 loaves of bread, 1 French bread here, and 1 sourdough bread right here. I'm going to make 2 loaves, 1 for Susan and me, and 1 to take to the chemistry department party today. And so I didn't want to make it a super long video. I already cut these things into slices. You don't have to cut it. You can just do whatever you want, mash it in your mouth if you want to, but I'm going to be very dainty and have the bread sort of sliced before I put the garlic butter, which is coming next. So now here I have my perfectly mixed sort of bacon fat, butter, and garlic paste right here. A little bit of olive oil. And I'm going to spread it on these 2 loaves of bread. And since I got to do this by myself, and I'm not good at spreading with, I got to have both hands to do that spreading thing. I'll cut this into little pieces, but we're ready to go for some action here. Okay, moving right along, we have spread that garlic with basically butter, bacon fat, garlic, and a little bit of olive oil onto both of these loaves of bread. I know that looks hideous. I would never eat that. But of course, next step is I'm going to wrap it up in this tin foil. I'm going to stuff it in the oven for about 15 minutes at relatively 300, just to get it all melted really good. Then I'll take it out and broil a little bit to crisp it up. Stay tuned. Okay, we're ready to put the bread into the oven, and we're going to do it for about 13 minutes. We got it set for, what, 300, like I said before, on bake. And since it's pretty hot, and we're going to have it in there for, a little over a dozen minutes, you want to make sure you wrap those loaves up real nice so that none of the moisture can come out of that, because it is going to be pretty hot. We don't want it to get all dried up in there and kind of resemble some stale bread kind of phenomenon. And then just close the door. Now then, once we pulled that out of the oven, and it's been in there for about 12, 13 minutes, just warming up and melting that butter all the way through the bread. Take it out of the tin foil, put it into a pan because you're gonna broil it. And you pull the two halves off, and the top half always has a little bit less garlic than the bottom half. That's good for different folks who like to have either more or less garlic. Last scene will be what it looks like coming out of that broil. Oh, got a little overdone there. It's okay, it's gonna taste just fine. Here we have the final product. I turned around for like 15 seconds and it got a little bit too overdone. I'll probably save that top one for me and bring the other one to the party so I won't be insulting anyone with a little bit of black. Well, there you have it. That's garlic bread from start to finish. The one nearest to me is done and is absolutely perfect as I can imagine, and we'll be taking that one in to show off with.